Next on NBC Palm Springs Midday, a Marine is in custody after reports of shots fired at the U.S. Marine Corps 29 Palms base. We'll have a live report. Meet a super achiever from the class of 2020 who has a chance to win 10 grand because of duct tape. Jerry.
It's going to be hot today, a lot of sunshine on our Agua Caliente casino cam, but today's going to seem mild compared to what we're going to get this weekend. Excessive heat is on its way. Full forecast in 7 to 8 minutes.
This is NBC Palm Springs. Breaking news.
Good morning and thank you for joining us on this midday. I'm Joe Smith. I'm glad you're here. We do begin with breaking news. Military police responding to an active shooter situation this morning at the Marine Corps Air Ground Combat Center in 29 Palms. Gunshots were reported around 6:30 this morning. Our Olivia Sandusky is live in 29 Palms. Olivia, what's the latest?
Good morning, Joe. We're just outside of the gate here at 29 Palms, about as close as we get to the base, which did have a bit of a hectic morning. First responders responding to that call of an active shooter around 6:30, and that's when they got here to the gate. But you can see the shelter-in-place order that was put into effect at that time has since been lifted. The USMC tweeting around 8:30 that an individual had sustained a self-inflicted gunshot wound, but they did say there were no other injuries to report during that time, so that is a good news there. But the individual has been transported to a medical center. They are being treated for their injuries. No update on the status or identity of that individual. Now, of course, this isn't the only base that's made headlines recently. We've seen the disappearance and unfortunate death of a soldier out in Fort Hood, so this situation being taken very seriously here this morning. Now, the USMC did tell us that it is still under investigation. We're working with information here at the base to get the latest details. We'll bring you those throughout the rest of the day as we learn more. Reporting live from 29 Palms, Olivia Sandusky, NBC Palm Springs.
Olivia, thank you. And now to the latest on the coronavirus cases. They are up more than 90%. Hospitalizations are up, jumping by more than 50% over 2 weeks. And even though deaths aren't up, health experts worry that could be a result of a lag between new cases and deaths. Information has changed quickly, sometimes daily, since the pandemic began. Our Kitty Alvarado looks at how some forecasts have played out.
In January, California had its first coronavirus cases and started spreading undetected in other states. By February, the CDC was warning people to prepare.
Disruption to everyday life may be severe.
Then, in early March, Riverside County started seeing community spread, and the first 2 deaths in the county happened in the Coachella Valley.
I turned to the nurse in the hall and said, "She doesn't know we're here."
That same month, in Shadow, Dr. Richard Loftus warned of the consequences of not following strict CDC guidelines.
If we do business as usual, the hospitals will get overwhelmed in a matter of a couple of weeks.
Chief Medical Officer with Eisenhower Health, Dr. Allian Williamson, says local hospitals are now seeing those early predictions materialize. materialize.
We're basically following the curve of what was predicted.
Our local hospitals are treating a record number of coronavirus patients. Eisenhower Health, Desert Regional, and JFK Memorial are caring for 165 COVID patients, and 35 of those are in ICU. While they are still able to treat all illnesses and emergencies, COVID is testing capacity and staff.
There's no question that all of the hospitals here in the Valley are definitely being stressed to the breaking point.
At this rate of hospitalizations, critical drugs to treat COVID like remdesivir are in short supply and may become more difficult to source.
We are facing shortages, and it's very likely in the near future we'll have to begin really studying who is most likely to benefit from that medication, because I don't think we will have enough clearly to treat every single patient.
Dr. Williamson says we can all do something every day to stop the most dire predictions from happening.
The next couple of weeks are going to be very critical for us.
Kitty Alvarado, NBC Palm Springs.
And now across the country, we now have more than 130,000 deaths attributed to the pandemic, nearly 64 in California, 479 in Riverside County, and 131 in the Coachella Valley. We're learning more and more about cases of COVID-19 at a variety of businesses, date packing plants, big box stores, hotels. As our Daytona Everett reports now, labor unions say the county isn't doing enough to protect workers.
COVID-19 has seeped its way into virtually every crevice of the food industry.
Do you know statistically how many meatpacking plants have been infected and how many date plants have been infected?
There has not been one that I'm aware of. There has not been one plant that has not been affected.
Joe Duffel is the president of a union representing food workers across Southern California. He says navigating the pandemic has been increasingly difficult.
You do it well, you do it right, you do it once. Because if you don't, you're going to pay a higher price later. And right now we're paying that higher price.
That price is positive cases. Riverside and Imperial County have some of the highest numbers, and some are still going unaccounted for, according to Duffel.
The companies don't want to give out the information because they don't want to scare their investors or they don't want to scare the customers. It's just bad for business, right?
Labor representatives say many food workers earn low incomes, have limited access to health care, and have concerns about their immigration status, making it difficult to come clean about COVID-19.
When you create that atmosphere, you put people underground and they go out and expose other people potentially because they're trying to do business as usual. We have to have a system and create a system to where people feel safe to be able to say, listen, I've contracted this, or I believe that I've been exposed to this, and that there's not going to be repercussions because of that.
When our public health department reaches out to any confirmed case and we ask if they are employed, if they do work outside the home, again, we're asking these questions so that we can contain the disease.
Public Information Officer Brooke Federico says Riverside County has ramped up resources for coronavirus, but Duffel says it's not enough.
I think Riverside County needs to step up. I really do.
We do want to increase our number of contact tracers. I will say that we do not currently have a backlog in our contacts that our contact tracers are reaching out.
Everything a work in progress so people can stay at work. Daytona Everett, NBC Palm Springs.
More than 200 scientists are calling for the World Health Organization to acknowledge the coronavirus can spread in the air. Currently, WHO says the virus is spread from larger droplets when someone sneezes, coughs, or speaks. They fall into the ground quickly. However, hundreds of scientists suggest the virus can spread through the air from smaller particles. They say these particles can possibly float in the air longer and over a greater distance. There's a new, more dominant strain of coronavirus that is now circulating in the United States. Researchers at Duke University School of Medicine helped discover it. Michael Perchik reports.
The breakthrough discovery providing clarity into the changes of the virus. Dr. David Montefiore, a professor of surgery at Duke School of Medicine, part of a team that helped uncover this gene mutation.
It appears to spread faster, and that's probably why the virus like the mutation and why it's so dominant.
Dr. Montefiore says this became the most common strain by the end of April, though there are still pockets of the country where the original strain is prevalent. While this strain may spread faster than the original, he says it does not explain why America has so many more cases, hospitalizations, and deaths than any other country.
Well, you look at Italy. This is the dominant form of the virus in Italy. It was the dominant form almost from the very beginning, and things were very bad over there, and they have it under control. And the same is true for other parts of the world.
Fortunately, researchers do not believe this strain is any more dangerous, and Dr. Montefiore adds treatment typically targets other parts of the virus, meaning the gene mutation should not have an impact when it comes to medical care. What they are trying to figure out is if it would have any repercussions on a potential vaccine.
We have data, very encouraging data, that this mutation is not going to have an effect on the immunotherapeutics and the vaccines. But it's preliminary data.
He says researchers are continuing to run experiments and hope to submit the findings for publication soon.
That was Michael Perchek reporting. Novavax is the latest company to receive money from the U.S. government for testing and manufacturing a potential coronavirus vaccine. $1.6 billion will be used for completing late-stage clinical development, including a phase 3 clinical trial that will involve up to 30,000 people. It will also establish large-scale manufacturing of a vaccine candidate with the goal of delivering 100 million doses by early next year. Taking a live look from our Agua Caliente casino cam in Palm Springs, a beautiful day, although toasty. Let's check in with Jerry Stephan for a look at our forecast. It's going to warm up even more.
Yeah, I'm not going to bury the lead. We're going to go right to the numbers right now. Pull off the Band-Aid. Yeah, it's going to be up there close to 120. Excessive heat returns to the valley. Saturday, Sunday, 117s, 118s, 119s are a possibility. Yeah, those numbers are hot, dangerously hot. In fact, we have excessive heat watches, which most likely will become a warning very soon, beginning Friday and moving into early next week with temps between 114 and 120. Yes, downright hot. Right now, a cool 97 degrees. Winds at 9 miles an hour, 73 at Big Bear, 94 Yucca Valley, 99 right now at Desert Hot Springs, a sunny 94 at Coachella, 96 degrees at Indio, 97 Cathedral City. Clear skies and satellite, nothing on radar. All quiet over the southwest right now. Today, a mild 110 to 113, comparatively speaking, of what we're going to get this weekend. Evening flow, breezy onshore later today. Dew points low 30s this afternoon with single-digit relative humidity. We'll stay dry and hot as we move through Thursday, but after Thursday, those numbers move up big time. Full forecast and the 7-day in just minutes.
We're going to look at today's temps as being cool. Thank you, Jerry. Up next, Mary Hart's been involved with a number of Palm Springs events over the years, but now she's taking some heat for hosting the Mount Rushmore Trump rally. Details after the break. And welcome back. Television host Mary Hart is taking some heat after hosting President Trump's July 4th event at Mount Rushmore. Hart, of course, you'll recall, has been involved in a number of Palm Springs events over the years. But as our Olivia Sandusky reports, some people are calling for the city to cut ties.
We welcome you, President Trump, our First Lady Melania, and your whole family.
Part-time desert resident Mary Hart hosted President Trump's 4th of July event, leading to pushback from locals online, with some calling for an end to her relationship with the Palm Springs Film Festival.
Yes, it's a free country. We do have free speech, but does the film festival want to be associated with somebody who is this much of a vociferous endorser of this divisive character, President Trump?
Hart has also served as the Grand Marshal of the Festival of Lights Parade and has a star on the Walk of Fame downtown. And Federal Election Commission data shows both Hart and her husband, Burt Sugarman, have made sizable donations to the president's campaign over the last few years.
You wouldn't get this reaction if it were Mitt Romney or John McCain or President George W. Bush. But if you're going to stand up there and endorse him, write him a check for tens of thousands of dollars, you're going to pay a price.
Controversy also formed during the event over hand gestures Hart used in her speech. In a statement, Hart says, "A white supremacist symbol? Are you kidding me? I would never use one and never knew that the OK sign was anything but positive. My South Dakota parents instilled in me to respect everyone, and that means everyone, no matter their skin color or religion." Members of the East Valley Republican Women Federated say they support Hart and feel the backlash is unfair.
Trying to take Mary Hart's status away just because she went and appeared on a thing that was about the country and not about his political career is crazy.
And to further address concerns about her presence at the event, Hart says, "I was invited to my home state of South Dakota to introduce my friend Governor Kristi Noem, which I did. And I was proud to be at our great shrine of democracy, Mount Rushmore." Olivia Sandusky, NBC Palm Springs.
Now, Olivia reached out to the Palm Springs Film Festival for comments. So far, no one has responded. A woman charged with helping accused sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein abuse minors has moved to a New York City jail. British socialite and heiress Ghislaine Maxwell faces federal charges of conspiracy to entice minors to travel and engage in illegal sex acts. Prosecutors say she helped Epstein recruit, groom, and abuse young women, some who were 14 at the time. They had some rough weather in the Northeast overnight. People in parts of Pennsylvania and New Jersey are waking up to downed trees and power lines. A storm rolled through, dumping rain and stranding drivers, leaving some cars underwater. Coming up, she graduated with honors and now she's stuck at the prom. Why and why it's worth 10 grand. And let's take a look outside right now at our Agua Caliente Casino Cam in Palm Springs downtown. Jerry's got your complete AccuWeather forecast after the break.
And a good Tuesday late morning. We're starting with our Agua Caliente casino cam and something we'll see again tomorrow. Nothing but blue skies above us, dry from top to bottom in our troposphere. Yeah, no clouds. That'll happen though. Just give us a few days. Yesterday was a hot one around the valley, but you know, this 113 we picked up yesterday will seem cool compared to what we're going to get later this week. 107 is our normal high for this time of year, and 119 the record yesterday. So kind of in between yesterday's highs. 73 at Big Bear, 93 right now, Yucca Valley. 29 Palms, sunny, 98. Oh, I got a triple digit there, 101. Just popped up at Thousand Palms, 92 at Cabazon. Clear skies over the valley. That'll be the case for the next 24 to 48 hours over Southern California and the Coachella Valley. Nothing on radar to point out either. Got to stay dry. We have that dry weather pattern with us for the next couple of days. So high pressure, ensuring those numbers are above 110 again this afternoon. 110 to 114 are range of highs under sunshine with a light onshore flow kicking in late in the day. Coastal temps basically in the mid to upper 70s. Inland, yeah, about 10 degrees hotter. When you get to the Coachella Valley, we're above 110 this afternoon. Specifically, 112 at Palm Springs, 111 at Thousand Palms, even triple digits up north again for the high desert. Cabazon will peak at 100 degrees. And tomorrow, similar numbers, 110s and 111s for the Coachella Valley. Then things change. By the end of this week, Friday, especially Saturday, Sunday, those numbers skyrocket. High pressure boosting those numbers up, and even a little bit of tad of moisture moving in the upper levels over Southern California. Most of that staying over Arizona. But check out these highs for Saturday. 115 to 118 for the Coachella Valley with some high clouds, but mostly sunny skies. And then on Sunday, yeah, again, 117s, 118s, possibly 119s for the Coachella Valley. We could see some records set in Southern California. And because of that, excessive heat watches have been put into place for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, possibly add Friday because the numbers are going to be up there. And you can see how widely extensive this is, extending into Arizona and parts of southern Nevada. Okay, today and tomorrow, basically nothing but sunshine. Thursday, a few high clouds moving in to the area, but filtered sunshine for the weekend with those numbers moving up. Surface moisture extremely dry with single-digit relative humidity through Thursday. Okay, we have a Christina in our midst over the Pacific right now. It is a tropical storm, 40-mile-an-hour winds making its way to the west-northwest by tomorrow. Could be a Cat 1 hurricane, Cat 2 by Thursday, but then it moves into drier and somewhat cooler waters. It'll begin dissipating over the weekend. Here's a Comfort Air 7-day forecast around 110 today, tomorrow, and again Thursday, but then we get into excessive heat territory. Check out Saturday and Sunday, well above 115. More in 2 minutes. Keep it here.
We're not doing it. You don't like me, I don't like you, but shit, we got rain, so the kids love us. People look at years. You want somebody there, like I know, I'm gonna listen to Carolina. I know I'm gonna have dementia and all that shit. Come find me. You wake up and I'm not here.
Rules of the contest, does it all have to be made out of tape?
Yeah, well, they allow us to use different materials if we want to. So this dress, like we made this base out of muslin, and then we just attached all the tape and all these flowers. Some of them are painted, but most of them are made out of tape. The sleeves are out of tape as well. We laser cut them so they would look in like a beautiful like flower and like butterfly pattern.
I think you have fashion on your mind a lot, don't you?
I do. At school, I was the head of social media for our fashion club. So I would post everything on Instagram, and like for Spirit Weeks and everything, I would try to like inspire people what to wear. And then with my sister, I have a fashion blog and an Instagram page. So
this contest, you could win up to $10,000 if you're the winner.
Well, I think it's sort of crazy that I could win that amount of money, like my college tuition. Like I wouldn't have to take as many loans. It would be great. It would be a great contribution. And in terms of prospects, I think that I have a decent chance. I know there are a couple people ahead of me, but I think with this interview, and I've been promoting myself on Facebook and Instagram and everything else. I have friends all around Europe who are supporting me and are voting for me every day. And yesterday I was promoted on an Instagram page, like 66K, like 1,000 followers. So I think we're getting there. We just had a slower start, but
yeah, but now we only have until July 11th to get the votes in. Is that correct? All right.
Yes.
So that's what we can do. And what's the website that we go to in order to vote?
Yeah, you just Google Stuck at Prom, or it's on the duckbrand.com website.
And then we'll see your picture there too.
Yeah, you just have to click on like vote now or something. They're going to tell you, oh, here are the finalists for 2020. And then you click on vote now and you'll see my picture there.
And so how did you come up with the concept for the outfit? How long did it take you to do it? How many rolls of tape did you go through?
I chose the theme of like peonies, the flowers, because they used to be my grandma's favorite flower. And after she died, we just kind of had like, that's like, we always have peonies in our house and everything like that. So it's our favorite flower now too. And so I was coming up with the concept with my sister because we usually work together on these things. And yeah, we were just like, oh, okay, we're going to use the colors that peonies have. And then I just made some also like rose tapes and stuff because I asked our ASB president what our prom theme was supposed to be. And she said one of the themes they were thinking about was the rose garden. And I was like, oh, perfect. This would work great.
And so how many rolls of tape did you go through?
Not that many, to be honest. They were like 20 yards rolls. So I only went through around 10 of them. We tried to be as efficient as possible. Yeah.
Now, I mentioned you're an overachiever. You know, how many schools did you apply to? How many did you get accepted? Where are you going? You know, all that.
I applied to around 19 schools, I think. A lot of schools. I got into like half of them, I think. But I'm going to UC Berkeley in the fall.
And will you be studying fashion?
I don't think so. It's more of a hobby for me, just something I like to do in my free time. I'm going to study something along the lines of linguistics and foreign languages.
Congratulations to you. Congratulations on going to college in the fall. I know you're going to be a high achiever in college as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. Congratulations. We hope you win.
Thank you. I hope so too.
I bet. All right. Thank you, Anna. All right. Stay right there. We'll be right back. We continue our breaking news. Military police responded to an active shooter situation this morning at the Marine Corps Air Ground Combat Center in 29 Palms. Gunshots were reported around 6:30 this morning. Our Olivia Sandusky is at 29 Palms right now to give us the very latest on the situation. Has anything changed, Olivia?
Joe, not much more new information at the moment, but as you can see, the base has reopened since those crews arrived here at 6:30 in the morning for that active shooter call. That's when the base was put under a shelter-in-place order. But as you see, it has been lifted. It actually was lifted around 8:30 in the morning. The USMC tweeted out that an individual did sustain a self-inflicted gunshot wound, but they say no other injuries are being reported at this time. That information hasn't changed at the moment. Now, that individual has been transported to a medical center. They are being treated for their injuries. We are still waiting to learn if they will release the identity or status of that individual. Now, of course, this isn't the only base that has been making headlines recently. We have seen the disappearance and unfortunate death of a soldier out at Fort Hood. So this situation being taken very seriously here today at 29 Palms. In just a few moments, we are going to speak to one of the representatives of the base to see if there are any new updates that they can give us today. When we learn that information, we will give it to you. And don't forget, you can always check online for the latest updates as well. Reporting live in 29 Palms, Olivia Sandusky, NBC Palm Springs.
All right, Olivia, thank you. And now to some consumer news. Americans are falling victim to coronavirus scams. The Federal Trade Commission says Americans have lost more than $77 million to COVID-19 fraud. Experts say fraud is typically underreported by consumers, so the real tally is likely much higher. Scammers have reportedly targeted federal relief money, such as stimulus checks and unemployment benefits, among other things. Now, if you haven't gotten a stimulus check, you may have accidentally thrown it away. To speed up the delivery of economic impact payments, the Treasury Department mailed prepaid debit cards to some 4 million Americans without telling anyone. The cards were issued by MetaBank and came in a plain envelope from Money Network Cardholder Services. The Treasury Department is sending out letters now to let you know you can get a replacement card. In recent weeks, an advertising boycott against Facebook has been gaining momentum. Now hundreds of businesses have pulled advertising from the platform, including Target, Starbucks, Honda, Unilever, and many more. And Facebook is taking notice, agreeing to meet with boycott organizers today. Liz McLaughlin with the details.
Facebook is facing a growing backlash over how the company handles hate speech. Today, Mark Zuckerberg is scheduled to meet with the organizers of an ad boycott against the company that continues to gain traction.
The campaign is growing and going global.
In mid-June, a coalition of civil rights organizations started a Stop Hate for Profit campaign, urging advertisers to stop spending on Facebook's platforms.
Around the world, brands are saying, consumers are saying, this has got to stop.
Now hundreds of businesses have signed on, with more joining every day. Recent additions include Walgreens, Best Buy, Ford, and Adidas. But the financial impact on Facebook's bottom line is questionable. Facebook's top 100 advertisers account for just 6% of its ad revenue.
They have plenty of money. They got plenty of advertisers. I think Facebook has 8 million advertisers, so this is just a drop in the bucket to them.
Still, the campaign has gained the company's attention.
We don't want hate. Our users don't want hate on our platform. Clearly, advertisers don't want either.
Mark Zuckerberg announcing policy changes in a recent virtual town hall meeting.
To crack down on voter suppression and to fight hate speech.
But critics claim Facebook's efforts so far are not enough.
We need concrete, measurable change, and we need it now.
Pushing Facebook to do more as a growing number of businesses and users demand change. Liz McLaughlin, NBC News.
And as we head to break, let's take a live look outside from our Walter Clark Highway 111 camera. Jerry's got your full forecast. That's up next. Stay with us, please. In this morning's Showbiz Report, Desperados is a Netflix comedy set in a Mexican resort about love and friendship. Manny the Movie Guy, our resident film critic, talks to the main cast.
I have a blind date. Hi.
Look, Wesley, you seem like a great girl. The timing's not right for me.
I'm sorry, what?
It's a super raunchy comedy with a great big heart, and it speaks volumes on the power of friendship. But wait, there's more. It's written and directed by fantastic female filmmakers. So congrats on that.
Thank you.
So was the script by Ellen Rappaport one of the biggest attractions for you guys to join the cast?
Yeah, this script was on my radar a decade ago. I just loved how messy the character was, the character of Wesley. And then obviously when I found out that Lamorne might be able to do it, it was such a no-brainer because, there's truly no one better to work with.
Hey, automatic out girl.
Come on. What's up?
What are you doing here in Cabo?
Snowboarding.
Oh, that's a weird coincidence. I'm doing the exact same thing. What I find to be so cool and interesting and dope about this project is that you have a female director and you have a female of color leading the film. And to have a female of color leading opposite a Black man in the film, I think is absolutely fantastic. It's great for kids to see. It's great for the world to see and say, hey, this is dope. This is funny. This is cool. This is what the world looks like.
Oh my God, a dolphin.
That ain't no dolphin. Baby, that's a shark.
It's not a shark.
Well, one of my favorite scenes really is my backdrop.
Yes.
The dolphin scene, I didn't see that coming.
So the dolphins were all CGI, and there was this amazing stunt team down in Mexico that basically had, or a special effects team that designed these green half dolphin styrofoam things with a dude in the ocean just holding it so that we had our eye lines. And then beyond that, everything was created digitally afterwards. Thank God for the dolphin.
I fought to get a real dolphin in there. I tried my best to get a real dolphin in there. The dolphin union was complaining. It was a whole thing. What I mean is, no. I'm using my automatic out. The world is going through a lot of craziness right now. And something my sister always says, she says, sometimes you got to take your medicine with a little bit of orange juice. So with all this craziness, the best medicine is laughter sometimes,
So watch Desperados. And on that note, that's my automatic out.
This far.
You're in a Mexican jail. What do you want me to do? Dwell on that or rise above it?
Dwell on it.
Thank you, Manny. Tuesday, late morning. Clear skies in our Agua Caliente casino cam. Plenty of sunshine again tomorrow. Dry from top to bottom in our troposphere. Yesterday, we had temps that were just above 110. We're going to see that again today. Right now, we're on our way. Already some triple digits in the valley. Let's see, 29 Palms at 100 degrees. Yeah, getting close at Palm Desert at this hour. Rancho Mirage hit the centennial mark. So clear skies right now on our Agua Caliente casino cam. As you saw just a bit ago, not much going on over the southwest and radar quiet there too. High pressure in the upper levels, keeping those temps above average. So easily above 110 again today, just like yesterday, 110 to 113, a range of highs. Dew points will be in the 30-degree range as we move. Let's take a look at that Agua Caliente casino cam one more time and just give you an indication of how dry it is. That's how much sunshine we're seeing there right now. It's going to be a hot but very clear day around the Coachella Valley as we see those temperatures basically move on up quite quickly. Okay, back to temperatures around the valley. We're looking at 90s for many of us, a few triple digits, clear on our skies around Southern California, radar quiet as well. High pressure keeping those numbers, 110 to 114. That's the range. That's what we're looking for. Along the coast, lots of 70s, a little farther inland, 80s, close to 90 degrees around LA. Here, easily above 110, 112s and 113s, about the same as we move into Wednesday afternoon. But then this coming Friday into Saturday, a ridge of high pressure will really strengthen and boost those numbers up to kind of dangerous territory. 115 to 118 under mostly sunny skies, some high clouds moving into the area, maybe a touch of humidity too. That is not good. On Sunday, 118 for Palm Springs and Indio, 116,000 Palms, 117 at Palm Desert. Again, excessive heat moving into the area. Right now it's a watch, but this most likely will become a warning for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Right now they just have Saturday, Sunday, Monday, but Friday should be added to that because temperatures will begin heating up on that day. Okay, as far as records, yeah, we're going to be quite close to setting records. The closest we're going to see is Sunday at thermal, 119, the forecast high, 120, the record set back in 85. Okay, immediate future, sunshine today and tomorrow. Could see some clouds move in late on Thursday. Surface moisture, yeah, today and tomorrow, and again on Thursday, we'll see single-digit relative humidity. So it's going to be a dry few days ahead of us, but as the numbers move out for the weekend, look out. Those numbers getting to 117 in Palm Springs on Saturday, 118 on Sunday, and still up there Monday with a high of 116 under sunshine.
We, of course, want to keep you up to date with all the latest information on coronavirus testing sites. So joining us today is Dr. Edgar Bullock from Borrego Health, who will give us a little information on their latest East Valley COVID-19 testing site. Welcome, Dr. Bullock.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. And we're so thrilled that the East Valley has this amazing opportunity to have a testing site. Tell me a little bit about the location and the days and hours that you're open.
So in correlation with the 29 Palms Band of Mission Indians and the mayor of Coachella, Borrego Health is partnered to bring testing to the Eastern Coachella Valley region. So we currently have a test site set up at the Spotlight 29 Casino, where we're offering testing Fridays and Saturdays from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Oh, that's terrific. And I know people are concerned about appointments. Do you have to make an appointment prior?
So we prefer the appointment just to kind of expedite. The way that we have the setup is a drive-through process to ensure smooth flow of traffic. We ask for patients to call our nurse triage line to get set up with an appointment.
Excellent. And that was my next question. So you just drive through, you can stay in your car. You don't have to go out and get into another area. You actually just stay in your vehicle.
Yeah, so that's what's the beauty of it. So this actually helps us preserve our protective equipment, which is in limited supply. So we're able to use the same PPE without having to change as often. And then patients stay in their car. So it also decreases the risk of exposure to not only our employees, but also to the patients themselves, to other patients that are getting tested for COVID. So it really works very well that way.
And another question we get, of course, is there a cost?
So there's no out-of-pocket expense for any patients. We really are trying to expand testing to more widespread population. That way we can really isolate the patients that are positive and ensure that they understand what isolation means to decrease the risk of exposure. So because of that, we are not offering, or we're not charging for any of the tests. So the patients will not have any out-of-pocket expense, regardless if they have insurance or not.
Oh, that is terrific. That's a really valuable opportunity, I know, for everyone in the Valley, but especially those in the East Valley. So to date, how many tests have you been able to do, and what have the positive results been?
So specifically at that one location that we're testing at, the Spotlight 29 Casino, we've tested over 400 patients. And of those 400, 27 have come back positive.
And then what is your protocol after that? Do you require that they quarantine for 14 days?
We do, yeah. So anybody who tests positive, we call them immediately with the results. We talk to them about what isolation means and how to decrease the risk of exposure to anybody within their household or in the community at large. We follow up with them several times throughout the course of a 2-week period to ensure that their symptoms are not worsening. And then at the end of that quarantine period, we make sure that they fit the CDC criteria for the release of isolation. So ensure that there's been an improvement in their respiratory symptoms and that they've been afebrile for more than 3 days without the use of fever-reducing meds, and ensure that it's been at least 10 days since the symptom onset. So if they've met those 3 criteria, the CDC recommends that they can be released from isolation because they're not considered to be infectious at that point. So we really talk to them about what that means, make sure that they really are following those guidelines, and in that respect, hopefully decreasing the risk of community spread.
That's great. And I know a lot of people are concerned. If you don't have any symptoms at all, do you still need to get a test if you don't have a sore throat or a fever or any kind of aches and pains? Is it wise to still get a test?
So it's a really good question, and the jury's still out on that. We do have a large percentage of patients that are presenting asymptomatic, so we can detect before they actually start presenting with symptoms. And in that case, it would be good to get patients that are asymptomatic tested, so that we can isolate those patients as well before they spread to a lot of other patients. It's been challenging for us because we were initially very limited in our test kits, and still to this day, we're running out of the nasopharyngeal swab that we used to use, which was the gold standard, has now been replaced by just a sample of the anterior nostrils and also the throat. So ideally, if we had unlimited supply of test kits, I would recommend that anybody get tested so we can get that asymptomatic patient population detected and followed through. We are testing asymptomatic patients at that individual test site, and there is a surprisingly larger amount of asymptomatic patients that are coming back positive. So.
Well, I know that's such important data to make sure that you've got those results. So thank you so much, Doctor, for joining us. And once again, tell us the location and the hours that you'll be open.
So we're at the Spotlight 29 Casino. Currently, we're testing every Friday and Saturday from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. If that's what we have for now, if we need to expand hours later on, we might do so based on volume.
Great. Excellent. And of course, make an appointment and no cost to the person coming in. Thank you so much, Doctor, for all you're doing for our community. And we're certainly hoping that we're getting you some good results that will help in your data and hopefully trying to find some kind of pattern to this really terrible virus.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, for allowing us to advertise that we do have this testing available.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
Well, you know, as we slowly move into our new normal, Valley businesses are addressing new guidelines and client concerns. But one local business has been conscientious about putting their customers first for decades. Palm Desert Kitchens opened their doors in 2001, and one of the reasons for their enormous success with kitchen design might just be that co-owner Dennis McAllister started out as a professional chef.
I had 5 restaurants from New York to California. I started very young, 19 years old, in New York. I had a liquor license in New York at 19. I had a liquor license in California at 23. I was on Hollywood Boulevard. They used to call me the kid. Under cabinet lighting, interior lighting, it's all LED lighting now. I transitioned from the bar and restaurant business, and then I said, what do I want to do? And I realized I wanted to stay in the cooking and kitchen industry. I went to chef school and I cooked in my own restaurants as well. So when I designed with cooking in mind. When I do a kitchen, it's a true chef's kitchen. Everything will be right at your fingertips. We hit the mark on all of that. And I've been doing it now since 1986. I started doing more out here in this little location than I did in Los Angeles. This is the cherry wood, and you'll notice here we did nati. So when I start designing, I design with cooking in mind. Everything should be at your fingertips. You should be able to take a few steps and get at everything. The smallest kitchens are the hardest to design. Give me a large area and anybody can do a good job. But like here, I have a small showroom. I could put out a party for 100 people in a very small kitchen. You have your cooktop or freestanding range. You have big deep drawers for pots and pans. I've got spice racks. I've got sherries, wine, towels. I've got spatulas and serving spoons. I got a double trash pull out. My refrigerator would be close by. And I'm operating 2 or 3 steps and I have everything going. You can get creative with colors. It doesn't cost you any more money. It's my job. So when the job's done, you go, wow. We just don't want, oh, that's nice. Wow, who did this for you? Let's say you're a little short. You can't reach up, so this is very accessible for you. That anybody that contacts me, I can help them. And we start from basic, I do work in mobile home communities, all the way up to the most custom that you can have. So I want to be able to serve everyone, and no matter where they come from, everybody gets treated the same. I give them everything I got, and whatever project I get involved in, whether it's 5,000 or 500,000, they get everything that I can possibly give. We have white interiors, natural maple interiors, all full extension, soft close, of course, all soft close doors. Quite frankly, we got all the bases covered. When someone walks in here, if they walk out without me working for them, I didn't do my job.
Well, not only does Dennis do his job well, but his wife and partner Angel is also a very talented designer, and if clients are interested, she will lend her knowledge of the ancient practice of feng shui to the projects as well. Palm Desert Kitchens, a great asset to our desert living. For Desert Living Now, I'm Sandy Newton.